for short. TFO was founded almost on a whim by Professor Nikhila and myself in June 2020 during the lockdown. Since then, TFO has had uninterrupted discussions on films from all over the world every Saturday at 9 p.m. on Zoom. It is a group of film scholars, researchers, students, teachers, and anyone passionate about cinema. It has been our practice to invite people to select and lead the discussion of the chosen film, which we watch in our own time and space. On some occasions, filmmakers, editors, and cinematographers have also joined our sessions. Aparna Sen, Girish Kasarwalli, and Adur Gopalakrishnan, to name a few. We have held film festivals such as East European, Iranian, Women's Cinema, and others. In the month of June each year, to celebrate our anniversary, we hold a smartphone short film making contest for students and a lecture series in various university departments. This evening, we will be discussing self-fiction, self-migration, made by Fabienne Le Houérou. Fabienne completed a thesis in 1989 with Pierre Milza on fascism in Ethiopia. From her thesis, she produced her first visual work with the film Hotel Abyssinia in 1996 and published her first work in human and social sciences with an ethno-historical approach. She joined the CNRS in 1995 as a researcher and became research director in 2015. Her research themes since her thesis have focused on colonial history, post-colonial migrations, international relations, humanitarian crises, and globalization. She has published 13 works on these themes, 3 of which are in English, and has made 11 documentary films so far. Since October 2017, she has been Director of Research at the Institute of Studies and Research on the Arab and Muslim World and Fellow at the Convergences Migrations Institute. The film we are going to discuss was selected at the New York Women's Film Festival. The discussion will be initiated by Kalplata Naren. Dr. Kalplata works as an assistant professor in the Department of French and Francophone Studies at the English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad. She completed her PhD in French literature in 2015 from the same institution. Her research interests include literature, feminist studies, and cinema studies. Welcome to all of you here and a special welcome to Fabienne and Kalplata. Over to you, Kalplata.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'm just going to start with an introduction of this documentary. And after that, of course, Fabienne will talk about her perspective about which she has taken for this documentary. So I'll just take 15 to 20 minutes. And after that, we can have discussion. So I'll start with this um, introduction on this documentary. In the evocative documentary Self-Fiction, Self-Migration, Fabienne Le Houérou commences a cinematic pilgrimage to India, arriving in the pulsating heart of Rajasthan, Jodhpur, in March 2022. The Rajasthan International Film Festival, a celebration of cinematic excellence, marks the beginning of her odyssey, where her film Princess and Vagabond is adorned with the honor of Best International Documentary. This accolade is merely the prelude to a deeper narrative voyage that unravels within the vibrant expanse of Jodhpur, weaving a tapestry brimming with intertwined stories. The documentary's visuals and voiceover unite to form a multi-dimensional exploration into the dynamics of gender relations, framed against the canvas of contemporary Indian reality, simultaneously capturing the immutable essence of India. the region's rich palette of colors, enduring traditions, and the very soul of its people radiate through each frame, manifesting the profound beauty that is intrinsic to each facet of its existence. As we are ushered into the world by Fabien's voiceover, we navigate the confluence of time. Her narration, imbued with Bergsonian philosophy, seamlessly intertwines the past with our present, linking her past documentary experiences with the immediate, resplendent reality of Jodhpur. Engulfed in the city's ambience, its mosaic of colors, its mystical allure, and uh, its savory flavors, we find ourselves immersed in a milieu saturated with rich traditions. The documentary highlights the vital contributions of Salim and Shera Khan, whose musical artistry gives life to Mujhe Meri Gauri Chahiye, with lyrics crafted by Fabienne herself. This melody, recurring throughout the film, serves as an auditory undercurrent, reflecting the spirit of India's terrain and the central theme that Fabienne embraces tightly throughout her cinematic expedition. The song stands as a heartfelt reminder of the film's core investigation, in tune with the layered beauty of India, a beauty that is both timeless and deeply woven into the everyday tapestry of life. In a reflective journey, Fabian enters into a silent yet profound dialogue with the Indian landscape, seeking to understand the interplay of desire and love. The film ventures into her introspective examination of societal roles and her own place within them, set against the evolving narrative of India. It captures the juxtaposition between the country's cherished traditions and the relentless tide of change, providing a glimpse into the pursuit of joy amidst the vicissitudes of deprivation and desire. Self fiction, self migration is thus a canvas on which the contrasts of modern India are vividly portrayed, capturing the nation's wrestle with its emerging realities while holding steadfast to the traditions that defines its identity. It tells the tale of an unending quest for joy, a quest that is deeply embedded in the essence of India, vibrating through the every part of its cultural and social fabric. In her documentary Self Fiction, Self Migration, Fabian captures the quintessence of India through an evocative portrayal of Gauri, the wife of Lord Shiva in Hindu mythology. The film features a woman on the beach, an embodiment of this divine figure who maintains a silent but profound presence. It is with this emblematic figure that Fabian engages in a poignant dialogue, exploring the depths of desire versus love amidst Amir's relentless pursuit. The dialogue is thought provoking when questioned by the goddess about her longing for Amir. Fabian firmly responds with a preference for genuine love over the fleeting desire that Amir represents. Fabian candidly addresses the social scripting of gender roles, revealing her own vulnerabilities as a 55-year-old woman navigating the risk of attraction to a younger man. Her male colleagues may not hesitate to accept similar advances from Indian women, but Fabian stands resolute in her social identity as a woman, which has been shaped by societal norms. She confronts these gender expectations head on, without apology, choosing authenticity over deceit. Her narrative underscores a dedication to personal truth, even in a society rife with falsehoods. Amid the intricate gender roles within a Jodhpur, adapting to a burgeoning tourism economy, Fabian seeks to decipher the structure of Indian society. Rather than denouncing the shadows cast by deprivation, cunning, and greed, she endeavors to understand how these elements influence the lives of those striving to endure within this complex social landscape. The documentary becomes a lens through which the struggle for survival in Indian society is viewed, not with judgment, but with an empathetic quest for comprehension. Self-fiction, self-migration, thus stands as a testament to the enduring human spirit, to the pursuit of authenticity in the face of societal and personal challenges. Fabien's journey through India, through her interactions with the representation of Gori and landscapes of Jodhpur, becomes a narrative that delves into the profound questions of love, desire, and truth in a land that continues to balance the weight of tradition with the winds of change. In the profound dichotomy that Fabienne faces within self fiction, self migration, she is presented with two paths: to unravel the complexities of society or to bask in the beauty of the world. Fabian deftly navigates these bifurcations, achieving a delicate balance between confronting societal challenges and celebrating world's intrinsic beauty. She grapples with Amir's insidious harassment, shrouded in the guise of tender love and an offer to help her uncover the real India. Despite these tribulations, Fabian unveils the splendor found in the fauna and the people of Jodhpur. She immerses herself in an augmented life, a term she uses to describe the enriched existence she finds while filming in India, an existence that amplifies the vibrancy and richness of life itself. The essence of her journey to India is crystallized in her aspiration to touch, experience, and savor the country's enchanting allure. However, this enchantment is not without its complexities, as it is veiled by the dust of gender struggles, magnified by the intricate dynamics of a modern economy, buoyed by burgeoning tourism. The delicate interplay between an older foreign woman tourist and a young Indian guide underscores the vulnerabilities and the broader societal struggle for recognition and equality within a rapidly evolving India. Fabian's quest, which resonates with the experiences of women globally, becomes a clarion call for equality, a testament to her belief that aimer et égalité, to love is to be equal, a principle transcending romantic relationships and applicable to all human interactions. What then does Fabian, as a foreign woman, contribute through her documentary? She introduces an ethos of equality, a core value heralded in her own culture and one she seeks to illuminate in the context of India. Her lens focuses not just on the challenges but also on the potential for change, advocating for the principles of equality that are both personal and universal, seeking to inspire transformation in the way we understand and engage with each other across all spectrums of society. Within the revelatory frames of self fiction, self migration, Fabian cast a critical eye on certain facets of contemporary life. Her critique is twofold. Firstly, she addresses the pervasive influence of capitalism, repeatedly invoking the word rupee to underscore a society increasingly dominated by monetary concerns. Money, she suggests, has eclipsed other values, becoming the primary, if not sole, currency of importance in modern discourse. Secondly, she scrutinizes the complex gender roles prevalent in India, exemplified by the peculiar dynamics between Amir and his wife. The expectation for Fabian to reciprocate Amir's interest as voiced by his wife reveals the intricate social webs that govern personal relationships and nuanced pressures faced by women within these structures. The documentary cannot be condemned for its portrayal of poverty in India, as it presents the stark reality of the Kalbaya nomads, whose existence is predicated on begging and dancing. In a poignant moment, Fabian's inquiry into the government's role in addressing this poverty is met with silence, the question cut off, are left unanswered, echoing the oft ignored voices of the marginalized. Yet, amidst its critiques, the documentary is a celebration. It heralds womanhood, with Fabienne affirming her self worth in a reflective moment before a mirror, declaring, Parce que je le vaux bien, because I am worth it. Her acceptance of aging, vieillir, cela n'est rien, to age it is nothing, is a rejection of societal stigmas attached to growing older. The film also captures the enigmatic magic of India, despite Fabienne's frustrations with its complexities. She candidly shares her moments of disillusionment when the welcoming gesture of tea becomes a metaphorical trap, a symbol of the underlying transactions that permeate social interactions. Finally, self fiction, self migration delves into the interior conflict and self reflection of a woman. It is an exploration of feminine strength, not in defiance of vulnerability, but through its acknowledgement. Fabian's journey is one of self assertion, refusing to succumb to the false promises of the external world and finding power in the honest expression of her own fragility. In its contemplative culmination, self fiction, self migration serves as a profound testament to the intricacies of women's subjectivity and the affirmation of their intrinsic power. This power is eloquently paralleled with the goddess Gauri from Indian mythology, weaving a connection between the divine feminine and the mortal struggle for equality. The plaintive refrain of Mujhe Meri Gori Chahiye becomes Fabian's clarion call for inequality in love that transcends mere transactional interactions, seeking a love that is empowered, pure, and disentangled from the insidious reach of self interest. It is an ode to the enduring love that stands resilient against the tides of exploitation, a love that preserves the enchanting magic that India, in its core, represents, untouched by the trappings of narcissism. Fabian's narrative also beckons men to embrace authenticity, challenging the established power dynamics to foster a more genuine expression of self. Her call to action is not just for women but for men as well, urging a collective introspection and a shift towards truer selves. Her lens portrays India at a crucial intersection of time where the ancient and the modern coalesce, crafting new challenges and forging new power dynamics between genders. It is a portrayal that encapsulates the tumult and harmony of a society in transition, a vivid depiction of the evolving roles of women and men as they navigate the currents of change. In conclusion, self fiction, self migration transcends the boundaries of a mere travelogue or a cultural exposition. It is a journey into the realm of self narrative and transformative exploration. Fabienne Le Houérou, through her immersive journey in India, weaves a narrative that is deeply personal and introspective, a self fiction that reflects her inner dialogues, conflicts, and revelations. This journey is not just geographical but also metaphorical, representing a self migration, a transition of identity and perspective. As he navigates through the vibrant landscape of India, encounters with its people, and confronts the complex tapestry of gender dynamics, Fabian's story becomes a mirror reflecting her evolving self amidst the backdrop of a society in flux. The documentary thus stands as a testament to the power of personal narrative in understanding and adapting to cultural and societal shifts. It is a portrayal of how one's internal migration of thoughts and beliefs can lead to profound understanding of the self and the world, capturing the essence of self fiction, self migration in its truest sense. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kalplata, for peeling off the several layers of the film. You have made a very layered interpretation, and thank you so much for it. Fabienne, would you like to respond now, or would you like to listen to other opinions, comments of your film? How would you like to take it from here?
I will like to thank her because
Yeah.
She said something that nobody ever understood, because the film was shown in Paris and nobody understood as she understood. And thank you. I was about to cry because she understood deep down exactly, so clearly. I can't really, and it is said so lovely. It is written. Your English is so beautiful. It's like a novel. I could listen to you for hours. It's so beautifully said. So thank you very, very much. Thank you very much.
It
Thank
was my
thank you.
pleasure to present this documentary. Thank you.
No, I have to thank you because, when we do a film, we put all our emotions, art, truth. And in my society, women don't say the truth, especially if you're aged. You have to be decorative when you are your 20s. You are decorative, but I would have never done this film when I was young. This is a film that I wanted to do when I was aging, because women are asked to shut their mouths when aging. They don't, and in France, it's very clear. At Cannes, Festival of Cannes, the biggest French festival, well-known festival, women of 50 of age have no roles. After 50, women cannot be decorative. And the actresses, they all complain and say that after the age of 15, you just do not exist in cinema. And I think it's a very, very important subject that the society has to focus on the destiny of women who are not 20, 24, 23, but are aging with their conflicts, because it is aging is difficult. So it's really difficult, but it happened to everybody. Nobody can escape the process. So thank you for understanding this level, and all the levels, also with the Gori, and the dialogue with you understand more than ever, plus que personne, more than anybody else, this dialogue with a goddess, because it is the goddess we have inside. And I think the Indian woman can understand me better than there is no feminine divinity in Christianity. God is a man, Jesus is a man. Okay, there is a Virgin Mary, but most it's man divinity. And when you address to God, it's he it's God is a man. And what really what I really, really liked in India, and is that there are goddess, and the goddess are the essence of the power of the femininity. And this we do not have in the West, and we don't have in many culture. I think the Muslim don't have also this essence, this femininity of this essence of femininity. And the dialogue was with two actresses, and I want also to talk about them, because my film was made with 2 rupee, and they acted freely for the film. One was Marianne Borgo, who is dancing on the beach, and she's an incarnation of the goddess at a certain age. And there is also a young goddess. You never see her face. She has a veil. She is veiled, and she is the goddess of a young age, and the two are complementary at two different age, and the two of them are the inner goddess that each, in my view, of course, in my subjectivity, of course, it's very subjective, that these two are inside of us. That's why for the first time this film was a fiction and not a documentary. It's half documentary, but the fantasy and the emotional travel is more like a fiction.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, two of the things that struck me the most about the film, of course, it has already been more eloquently said by Kalplata, was exactly what you said, about the aging woman. Because normally in cinema, an older woman, or even in real life, an older woman is desexualized.
Exactly.
And yeah,
Exactly.
and what you do in the film is to kind of restore the sexuality of a woman. She continues to be attractive to a man, even if it is not desirable for the woman to be that way by a particular man. But and then those conflicts, of how to respond to these sexual advances. So that was something I found very interesting. And of course, the whole thing about money and economy. And there, I would say that at some points, I was also sympathetic to the musicians, even to Gafoor for that matter, like who, who was insisting on money for his performance, because if that is their livelihood, then there is bound to be that kind of bargaining. And but what I liked was you also kind of brought out this whole stereotype that stereotypes exist everywhere, not just in the East or the West. They're everywhere. And how you said a white woman is necessarily a rich woman, and that is why a white woman in a brown country would tend to get exploited. And so all of those intricacies of what it is for a white woman to travel in a place, and that to a place like Rajasthan, which has this whole culture of patriarchy. So I thought all that was very interesting. Any other responses? Yes, Nikhila.
Yeah, first of all, thanks so much, Kalpalata. This is like a ready paper, that can be published tomorrow. It is so well written, and like Fabienne, I loved listening to you, and it looked like you had invested a lot of effort into reading the film, making sense of all its nuances. So it was a real pleasure. I think, one of our best engagements on TFO, this is Kalplata. So thank you so much for giving your time for something like, this forum, and coming up with such a perceptive paper, perceptive elaboration of Fabienne's film. Now coming to the film itself. To begin with, Fabienne, I thought that, I was watching one of these films, like an ethnographic film made by a Westerner, replicating the hierarchies between the West and the East. Because there is that in the beginning of the film, where you're trying to construct, Rajasthan, the people in Rajasthan in a certain kind of way. To me, I was looking at it more like an ethnographic film. This is for, let's say, for about the first 8 or 10 minutes of the film, the early part of the film, where we listen to you talk about, your experience in India, how people are after you for the money, what you represent, and so these are we know these both as stereotypes within India. So if you go to Goa, there are plenty of narratives about how white women in Goa are treated, and similarly, you could say this about any place where single white women travel. So to begin with, I thought of this film as, replicating some of these stereotypes. But as the film unfolds, I mean, there is so much to it. And one of the strands that really struck me and bothered me to a large extent was, when one thinks of, let's say, someone from the West coming to study India, we have somebody called the native informant, somebody from the place in Rajasthan who is, kind of taking you, negotiating the space for you, and so on. So in the general, in the ethnographic context where the default ethnographer is male, one would think that this is pretty smooth. So the Westerner knows precisely what he wants, and the native informant is there to kind of give it to him, make available the site of study to the ethnographer. But here it is partly because of your gender, because of your reflections on gender in the film. So what happens when the ethnographer is female? So, and then it changes the dynamics, so much. So it's not just about a white person coming to India in a context and making a film which, kind of picks on the exotic elements in India, presents India in a certain way to probably the Western audience. So it is that, but it is something quite different from that as well by the end of the film, because here we see what happens when the ethnographer is female, and what happens to the native informant. So the dynamics of the relationship, so it does not just remain either at a professional level or just between an empowered person coming from the West into a disempowered context. It becomes so much more complicated with, clearly they are playing on, so your native informants are clearly playing up or playing on, in ways that they think it can be a more reciprocal relationship. It need not just be of the white person coming and exploiting us through our images. There are constant attempts to make you give back. So what is in it for us seems to be the constant question of the subjects whom you are filming. So I thought that was, again, very, very interesting. And just one, so this was... this was my main thread of argument, and what really made this film quite something which I didn't expect it to be in the beginning. But one last point, which was more like a difficulty, while the voiceover is English, probably it's you giving the voiceover. There are moments when you as a character in the film start speaking in French, and we don't know what you're saying because there are no English subtitles. I was really curious to know, what is it that you're saying. So it would have helped to have English subtitles in the French portions. Just that. But really enjoyed the film and enjoyed equally Kalpalata's discussion today. Thank you both very much.
Thank you, Nikhila. Would you like to respond, Fabienne?
Yes, I will answer to both of you. First, to what you said about the economic, and that you, at a certain point, you understand this Gafour, who wants to be paid for what he said. But in this sequence, in this scene, he had already a lot of money. He wanted more because in the ethic of ethnography, when someone asks to be paid, he gets paid, of course. But sometimes dealing with the musician is very complicated. They say one price, and the morning after it's another price, and then they don't get fixed price. So they are never fixed, because if he has drink something, or if he says something and then he says something else. So that's why there is a big discussion. But after all, we agreed. I mean, it was not dramatic. And this make me think about linking the things with the ethnography. It's the ethnographic dimension that was said before is existent, but I take some freedom with this ethnographic ethic, because in ethnography, we don't judge. You see, when you are an observer, I mean, American ethnography, it's another thing, but the French tradition of ethnography, you don't judge people. You are forbidden to judge. You have to observe, but this doesn't exist in life. It never exists, because you are dealing with humans. Some humans you like, some human you dislike. And for example, the Amir doesn't exist. It's a fiction. I don't know if you have understood. Amir doesn't exist. It's a bit of every man that have harassed me. You know, as a woman, you are harassed all your life, not only in India. You are harassed in France all your life. When you are 20, you are harassed in the streets because you are young. And then when you are old, you are harassed for another reason. And at school, there is harassment. Harassment is becoming something that our modern societies, it's a violence. And I think it's connected with economy, with that everything is material, with the materiality of things. And the harassment is everywhere, in India, in France, everywhere. And when you are on the field as a researcher, when you are a woman, you are right, the harassment is multiplied by 10, because the Amir doesn't exist, of course, but the harassment exists. And the way you are harassed as a woman, there is a sexual dimension. Why? Because through sexual dimension, it's a domination. You will do, because I ask, why do you want to? Because then I will do what he wants me to do. If I get seduced, then I will accept to do that, to give him this, to give him that, to choose this, to choose that, to bring him to France, to you. So it's only another way of domination. It is another face, another dimension of domination. And the men, they don't have it, because my colleagues, men, they are never harassed sexually on the field, never. And there is this, huh? Sorry?
No, please carry
There
on.
is, when you are a woman, people think that you are not serious deep down. That women are on the level of emotion and are not capable of thinking, having a philosophy, all these things. Well, so I think it's domination. It's absolute domination, and this exists not only in India; it exists everywhere. I just come from think that you can be a brain. They think that you can be manipulated easily. You are emotional. So there is this cliche and stereotypes, and that's why in my film, as ethnography is as we speak about the ethnographer and ethnography, males ethnographer are never harassed this way, because there is a distance. And with the woman, they don't put a distance, because we are understanding, they are more have empathy. So with a man, they would put a distance, because they would say, oh, it's a man. So this element also comes into in the field as an academic, the status, the gender, and especially in Muslim.
Yeah, there seems to be some problem with
Yeah,
her.
there's some disturbance with her.
Yeah, maybe she can join us when her
Hmm.
connection is better. Yeah.
Would anyone else like to say something about the film?
And most of
Okay. Fabienne, maybe you could turn off your video so that.
She's locked out. She's locked out.
She's logged out. She's logged
Oh,
out.
she's logged out. Okay.
Yeah. Ah, there she is. She's back.
Okay.
I don't know, something happened. Did you hear me, or?
I think the last bit we missed. Maybe if you have low bandwidth, you can switch off your video.
Okay, what I said is only that as the gender, the fact that you are genderly, have a gender identity, really makes things different. As rightly, it was well observed. The fact gender. Oui.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments? Any other comments on the film? Would anyone like to speak?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, good
Yeah,
evening.
yes, Dr. Rathod, please go
Yeah,
ahead.
good evening. I'm Dr. Bhavani Singh Rathod. Actually, Fabienne know me from last 2 years. I have also produced a documentary titled Ek Rajput Kisan. And right now, I am not able to comment on her film, because still I have to watch it. But I just want to say this platform, I like it, where the film is completely analyzed and we can discuss on that. So Fabienne told me that if you are interested in next film, they can discuss on that also. So I joined it and I found it very fruitful. And
Thank you.
No doubt I am connected with Fabienne from last 2 years, and we are also joining hands for more making the film in India. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks Fabienne and all others, the organizer.
Thank you. Yeah, Lalit Rao, would you like to say something?
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Well, when Fabian was making this film, we were in Jodhpur attending Rajasthan International Film Festival, and I would take Fabian around the city. So we went to many places, and I think some of the sequences she has shot have been included in the film. And I watched the film, but I have not analyzed it so deeply as Kalplata has done, because I watched it 2 times, but I still feel that it's a difficult film. But although it appears to be easy, okay, but it's a difficult film, and definitely that contrast between that Western gaze and that Indian surroundings and Indian situation is there. So definitely it's a challenging film, and we need to watch it over and over again. And I agree with what Fabienne has said, that the French way of ethnography dealing with people is completely different from the American or Indian way. So that has to be kept in mind when you watch this film. And I feel Fabienne has done really a great. I believe it will be interesting if Fabienne makes a feature film out of it, because she has been trying to, that's one of the projects which Fabienne is, having, this plan for so many years. So if Fabienne can share some, inputs about how she would go ahead, and because as a documentary, of course, it's wonderful. However, it will be difficult for a layman really to understand. Because documentaries by nature are understood by limited number of people, but feature film has more potential. So I would request, if possible, Fabienne can throw some light on how she will, how she plans to convert this into a feature film, if possible.
Would you like to respond, Fabienne? Are you there? I think she's again having some problems with the connection.
Yeah.
One more thing I want to add.
Yes.
Lalitji, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. How are you, sir?
My experience with my own documentary film, Ek Rajput Kisan, was really very typical. So I really appreciate Fabienne, who came from France and produced a documentary, directed everything here in India. It has been a really challenging work, I think, because I know what are the issues comes when we produce here, when we make a film, means a documentary, especially. So arranging all cinematographer and other team and location finalization and arrangement of each and everything, editing. So she arranged everything in India, especially from abroad. She came here and make a documentary. I think she should be recognized in India. What she basically deserves.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Thank
we can.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Lalit. It's nice to
Merci.
see you. Nice to see you, Lalit. You
Merci
have a
beaucoup,
colleague
Fabienne.
here who speaks very good French also. You have a French teacher here from
Yes.
Hyderabad. So thank you so much. Yes, I think it will be interesting to make a fiction, but you know, there is a dimension we didn't speak on the film. It's animals, and the
Okay.
animals,
Yes.
the
Yes.
animals, they say something in the film, and I understood it only now. When I did the film, I didn't understand. You know, there's a lot of subjectivity. And I think the animals is teaching us our humanity. The animals are very important. And the cat is important, elephants, there is dog,
Camel.
there is sheep, there is dogs, there is all kind of animals, and the animals are the voice of the love in the film. It is not the human, it is the animals in the films who are showing us our humanity. We discover our humanity through the animals,
Yes, it is a good
especially
subject.
the cat, especially the cat.
No.
Cat.
I prefer a dog.
And also, this is also what it was said before. The magic of India for me is respect for animal. This is something very also important in the film.
Yeah. Thank
Yes,
you.
this
Tarkeshwar wants to speak. Tarkeshwar, please go ahead.
Thank you, Fabienne, for the film. Thank you, Kalplata, for the your commentary on it. I have a few questions. One is about the title itself. On one hand, we are calling it as documentary. On the other hand, it is titled as fiction, self-fiction and self-migration. So I just wanted to know, was it a fiction or a documentary?
It's half documentary, half fiction. You know, there is actresses in the film, and also some people of the film. Amir doesn't exist, for example. It's a fiction created. I use a lot of elements of other men, and I created this like a novelist. I created the fictional role of Amir. It is not someone who exists, Amir. So there is element of fiction, like the goddess. The two goddess in the film are fictional. And also me, I'm fictional because it's only a part of me. I am not only this person. You know, it's I'm different from what I am in the film. It's the truth, but it's not the truth in the same time. But it is more than the truth. It's a narration of a truth. I don't know if I've answered.
Okay, that makes sense to me. See, when you make claim that it is a documentary, then it loses its rich textualness that it has. The film has a lot of rich text.
Yeah.
Once you claim it as documentary, it loses it. But once you start seeing it as a kind of narration, a story that is being unfolded in front of you, and what this story means to us, not what the story is showing us, that is documentary, but what the story means to us. Then it unravels many things, especially as everyone has discussed, the question of the subject and the object, the dichotomy between the two gets deconstructed in this narrative. If that character is a anthropologist who has come to document the music of this particular Mangliar community, and then what happens there, and the object refuses to be object, and object becomes a kind of subject. And if an anthropologist from the West has certain preconceived notions about Indian culture, then similarly, the object also has preconceived notions about the anthropologist. That what a white person who comes to Rajasthan to make a documentary is about. So the conflict between the pre-knowledge of the subject and then the quote unquote the object, when they clash with each other, a beautiful narration unfolds. And in that narration, many issues of race, gender,
Yeah.
caste, and
Yeah.
religion gets
Yeah.
unfolded.
Yeah.
And one of the interesting things for me was why the Rajasthan showcases certain things for the tourists as Indian culture, which actually makes a claim that it is not materialist. But in fact, the way it is showcasing it is in a material way. And it comes out very well in the film. You are trying to showcase non-material culture of India, but the way you are doing it is in a material way. And the word rupee that you say, that
Yeah.
accentuates this dichotomy that exists in the way we are projecting quote unquote India for the tourists. So similarly, the gender stereotypes getting deconstructed is also interesting. A younger man ready to get married to a older woman, and which we generally don't conceive of in Indian context. Here is a case where he professes to get married to a older woman, and then the wife coming in and then talking about it, it further complicates things. So the way it deconstructs what uh, the Indian state wants to project India as and how it is doing it. So that kind of the contrast between the two is where the plot it's the nail. So in that sense, this film was quite interesting, and the way you are trying to mask the people. There are certain people who come, the characters who are not shown to us, but they're there, but their face is not revealed. Their identities are protected, and sometimes, along with the camera shots, you also have. I don't know whether they are real paintings or freezed moments of the camera shots. So the juxtaposition of the still photographs with the visuals, moving images is also quite interesting, I thought. And also the juxtaposition of this woman in the beach uh, dancing to the music uh, is also quite interesting. And then again the juxtaposition of what is happening in terms of the plot, and then the kind of explanations the characters give in terms of the drawing on from Purana, Gauri, Himavan, and things like that. That is also very quite interesting. So bringing these contrasts and dichotomies together and then making them interface with each other has worked very well in the film, I would say. Thank you for the film.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we
yes,
can.
we can.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's very interesting object, subject. There's a turnover. Sometimes you are object, sometimes you are subject. It's fluctuating all the times, and it's the reality is always confusing about who is the object. Sometimes I was the object most of the time, and yes, I think I don't know if you know Marguerite Duras. I think Lalit knows Marguerite Duras. Marguerite Duras is a French writer, and she was making film. And she used to say, my books are film and my film are writings. And I could say the same, that this film is a novel. First, I wrote the novel, I wrote it, and then I filmed. So, and it's like filming words, and it's like words putting into images, and it is very rooted in the literature. I don't want to compare myself with Marguerite Duras because she's such a gifted and incredible writer, but the aim, I mean, my aim is comparable. There is no difference between film and image. They are intrinsically connected.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions?
Generally, we think that the eyes of the camera objectifies the people because it has the power. The camera has the power, and the person who is holding the camera will have the power. But here, interestingly, your film shows us that even though you are holding the camera and then filming them, you are also at the receiving end of the power relations, especially the gender and also the racial. So that was quite interesting, I thought.
Yeah, thank you. And some of the images are made with artificial intelligence. I used the OpenEye. All the pictures of the town of Jodhpur, the blue town with the blue buildings, is made with artificial intelligence. Amir is also made with intelligence artificial. It's not a real man. It's made with intelligence artificial. So there are like 100 of images fabricated with intelligence artificials using OpenEye. OpenEye, you can get OpenEye on your telephone. It's like ChatGPT. So, and what amazed me is that the intelligent artificial application offered me exactly what I wanted. And sometimes in Rajasthan, there were no difference between the image sent by the application and what I have filmed. There is an image of a Rajasthani woman dressed in red in the desert, walking in the desert. And this image is people think it's in the film. It's alive, a real image. So sometimes this intelligence artificial could offer million of possibilities. It's really interesting. It's really interesting because I was asking, I want the desert and the cat in the desert. So the application of intelligent artificial would offer me not one image, 10, 20 with cat, blue cat, red cat, pink cat, any kind of cat in the desert. And so you have the possibility of more than 100 images, and you can choose the one exactly that is the one that you want to put in your film. So this immensity of possibilities is so interesting for cinema, documentaries, but also teaching in class. You can use them if you want your pupils, if you want your students to understand something. You can make diaporama with these images. I mean, it's a fantastic tool, really. I really loved to search on intelligent artificial and to connect myself with intelligent artificial. It was really interesting, really. Maybe the best part of the film was this part.
Oh, this is fascinating information, because at least it didn't strike me that some of these were artificially generated images.
I guess so. I thought you have used graphics where you have used the real footage to convert them into images. I didn't know whether AI did that. Thank you.
Thank you. I think for the academic world, it's very useful. Of course, there is some danger because the student can use them and can use ChatGPT by, you know, there are a lot of dangerous dimensions that are discussed here in the academic world, especially, you know, when they use artificial intelligence to do their homework. So. But it's a revolution, and it's a fascinating revolution.
Any more comments, questions? Yagnashri, Madhurima. Yes, Madhurima.
Yeah, so I don't really have anything to add. I'm really enjoying the discussion, and I really enjoyed the narrative of the film. It was a really interesting one. And thank you, Kalplata ma'am, for introducing the film to us. And thank you, Fabienne. Thank you.
It's me thanking you. It was such a pleasure to see, to discuss with you and to listen to what you thought about the film, all the scenes that you've seen and that I didn't see. It's very interesting, and I'm very thankful. And please receive my gratitude for organizing this discussion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you, Kalplata, for that wonderful introduction. And thank you all for logging in and participating in this discussion. Merry Christmas. Good
Thank
night.
you.
And
See you tomorrow.
yeah, have a nice
Thank you,
weekend.
everyone.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
See you
you.
next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good
You all.
night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you. And if you have another discussion with other film, I'm very interested to look at other film.
Sure, sure.
We will keep you
We'll keep you in the loop. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and join the discussion, because
And Dr. Bhavani Singh, certainly please get in touch with us. We can certainly
Yeah,
share.
watch your film as well.
Yeah, watch your
can you send your email address?
Yeah, we will do that. We will do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We will
And
do.
we are on Facebook and WhatsApp. So whatever is convenient, we can add you to the Facebook group or the WhatsApp group. So we post the details of every week.
No, I'm just listening to the talking films online.
Yeah,
So we post the discussions the information about the discussions every week over there. So Fabienne, you're welcome to join us whenever you have time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
please send the link there, okay?
Good night.
Just
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
please
Yeah,
WhatsApp me. Please
Yeah,
WhatsApp me. Yeah.
Sure. We'll add you on the WhatsApp.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.